Best run our microphone's had so far.
Introducing first, weighing in at 170 pounds and hailing from Cranberry, Pennsylvania. He calls himself the superior athlete, the superior man. This is Joey Sunseri.
Joey's only been an in-ring competitor for about 6 months or so, but he already believes he's the biggest star in this area, and he wants to make sure all of you people realize it as well. Joey Sunseri says he's from Cranberry, Pennsylvania, the good part of Pittsburgh in his words, and he's already traveled overseas, completing a tour for LDN Wrestling over in England. So Sunseri's making the most of his opportunities. He also holds a victory in this area over Lee Moriarty.
Chandler Hopkins, hailing from Texas, but I've been seeing him more and more all over. Any weekend you look at Twitter, look at different shows, and Chandler Hopkins is getting out there. He's been on AEW Dark a number of times. His profile is just growing and growing.
Yeah, he has been in virtually every national promotion over the past couple of years, including Impact and MLW and AAA in Mexico. Hopkins' stock continues to rise. A native of Amarillo, Texas, which of course is a very, very rich wrestling history, the home of the famed Double Cross Ranch of Terry Funk. And Hopkins wants to make sure Amarillo is thought of as a wrestling town again, and he wants to be the one to bear that burden. And he's certainly put in the miles. He's pounded the pavement. And meanwhile, Joey Sunseri, I think, wants a lot of that same success, but he'd rather have it handed to him. He'd rather just convince you he's good rather than go out and prove it.
And this is a huge opportunity for Joey Sunseri, whether he would admit it or not, whether he thinks he needs opportunities like this to be presented to him. Because when you have a collaboration like Pele Pro and WrestlePit, you get wrestlers like Chandler Hopkins coming up to Pittsburgh from Texas. If you can defeat someone like a Chandler Hopkins, that expands your profile as well. It puts different eyes on you, and the goal as a wrestler in the United States is just to travel, to get everywhere you can.
Yeah, Joey Sunseri cornered me in the locker room and tried to tell me that this is a big opportunity for Chandler Hopkins. I don't see it that way. It's a big opportunity for him in a new area, certainly in front of these great fans, but it's Joey Sunseri who has the chance to prove himself, and with agility like that, you can see why Hopkins has quickly become one of the most highly scouted rising athletes.
Sunseri already has some complaints for the referee.
I got to complain about Sunseri's obnoxious leg tattoo. What is that? What a mess that is. That seemed like a good idea some Saturday night when he was drunk, I'm sure.
And, he's only 6 months in. He had the opportunity to maybe get some gear to cover that up. You can change your look 6 months in, but no, he's boldly choosing to just keep it out there. You have to appreciate that.
I will say Sunseri's very smooth in the ring. He takes to this very naturally. And the way he moves, the swagger, the confidence, the technique. I mean, if you took Rick Martel and put him in the dryer, it might come out looking like Joey Sunseri. Because this guy, I think, has a world of potential as long as he's not his own downfall.
And thus far, this has been an extremely technical contest, just going hold for hold.
Well, we know Hopkins can do that style. In the month of September in Pele Pro, Hopkins went to a 15-minute time limit draw with the American Wolf, Davey Richards. He's defeated the likes of Victor Benjamin and took Mike Bennett to his limit as well. So he was also in the first matchup in company history. Three-way matchup where he defeated Fuego del Sol, who was in that matchup as well. So Hopkins has really been one of the major players of Pele Pro since its inception.
Ooh. And I want to make sure that you caught that, Joe, because Sunseri turned this match around with, well, a poke to the eye.
And Sunseri was able to wait out Hopkins. And that's a sense of timing that a lot of rookies don't have. A lot of rookies want to rush into things. They want to be a little bit over-aggressive and over-excitable. But Sunseri just waited out Hopkins, but now he pays for it on the outside. If this turns into a brawl, I'm going to give the advantage to Chandler.
Sunseri staggering away from his opponent. Oh, wait, maybe he was more baiting him in. All right, that shows a little bit more awareness and, dare I say, almost a veteran prowess that I didn't expect to see.
Yeah, I think Sunseri is an individual who, oh no! And that was a most unfortunate altercation for Hopkins. Could have broken his own hand on that ring post.
And Sunseri took a second there to break the count, which means that he intends to stay on the outside.
Well, now he's got an injured target. His adversary is primed and exposed here to whatever Sunseri wants to do, including that. No, block. And Hopkins doing the smart thing, sending Sunseri back in the ring.
Oh, went for a handspring, and Sunseri just put a stop to that. Kick to the gut.
And it's almost like you saw Sunseri almost a lucha pass of sorts to allow Hopkins to get into the ropes. It's almost as though Sunseri again baited Hopkins in. And listen, Sunseri's wise beyond his years. I don't like to give him credit, but I will. That's what's so infuriating about him is he runs his mouth. He thinks he's got, the biggest head in the room. He's got the most talent in the room. But you know what? So often he proves himself right. He backs himself up.
Big drop kick. And Joey, we mentioned this a little bit with Nikita Knight, but I'll say it again. When you are a wrestler who maybe doesn't have the experience level, you think, okay, that puts you at a disadvantage. But when your opponent was well-traveled, is world-traveled, like a Chandler Hopkins, like a Ray Lynn, you know what that means? That means there's lots of footage out there. You can scout your opponent in a way that they can't quite scout you because you're an unknown, unproven commodity. Maybe that's a little of what we're seeing.
Well, now we see a vertical suplex.
Whoa!
Incredible hang time. And that'll mess up your equilibrium if you're Joey Sunseri into the cover.
No.
2 count only. I know Hopkins likes to fashion himself a bit of a southern gentleman, but he may have to get a little bit dirty to combat with Joey Sunseri. We'll see if time will dictate that. But Joey Sunseri has a way of getting under your skin. I don't know if you've noticed it.
It's not just the tattoo.
No, it's not not just the gear, not just the perfect hair.
The knee pads are riding a little bit low. That's annoying. It's just little things. But again,
I don't like his face.
Very well. Okay, his face is fine, but just like you said, little things to just irritate his opponents. He gets under the skin of his opponents, and I don't think he cares.
No, that's just him being him. I think Sunseri turns the volume down sometimes when he's in the ring because he's so obnoxious. There's a cover for 2. Well, Sunseri may think that this is a formality, a birthright, whatever you want to look at it as, but he's got to put in the work, and Hopkins is not ready to lay down.
Oof.
And that might be the first rookie mistake of Sunseri. You don't charge back in when you got hit the first time. He's going to do it again.
Maybe third time's a charm. But it never is in pro wrestling, is it?
It doesn't really work that way. Sunseri a bit too stubborn for his own good.
Okay, hold on. Wait a second here.
Thinking ahead.
Whoa.
Nicely done. Using the ropes for momentum. German suplex, 2.5.
Oh, that was so close.
And I like what Sunseri did. We know he's got less body mass than Hopkins, so he bounced off the ropes to build momentum.
Almost like a catapult effect.
Yeah, and that German suplex was so much more effective because it had more momentum behind it. Those right hands are not keeping Hopkins. This is not the first fisticuff scrap that Hopkins.
Yeah, you don't get into a fight with a man who wears a cowboy hat. You just don't.
And Sunseri calls that the Sicilian spike. We'll see if it's enough as Sunseri transitions.
Oh.
Muda lock coming up, yeah. And notice the torque up high off the ground that bridge is on Sunseri enables him to stretch up on the body of Hopkins that much more. Get more pressure behind this Muda lock.
It is locked in, but Hopkins is doing his best to crawl towards the ropes. Maybe this is where that little bit of a height advantage is going to come into play. He is close, but look at how red his face is. He was in that hole for quite a long time.
Well, Hopkins, not only that, he was crawling against the grain. Every bit of progress he made, it was increasing the impact and the torque of that move it was having on his breathing, on his neck, on his ankles, his knees, everything. So it took a lot out of Hopkins to even counter that hole.
Oh!
Sunseri measured his foe, thought he was out of it, but got a rude awakening. Hopkins renewed life. Beautiful hang time. All impact of the forearm, suplex float over.
Oh!
Into the Falcon Arrow. Is that going to be enough? Tight hook and a near fall.
So close. Chandler Hopkins just unleashed a flurry of offense, and it still was not enough to put his opponent away.
Less than half a count away, and Hopkins looking to break into new territory here. His first time in the Pittsburgh area, to my knowledge. Certainly showing out in a big way for a new crop of fans here, and certainly watching across the world on Fight TV and Title Match Network as well.
Back to going blow for blow.
Fighting back to their feet at this point. And when it comes to a slugfest, I got to go Hopkins, but Sunseri holding his own. Hopkins hit Sunseri on 6 or 7 different times.
There's that springboard into an enziguri.
Could be a knockout blow. No. And man, that's as close as it can come.
And the referee's hand was a millimeter away from the canvas. Hopkins up top.
Oh, incredible hang time, but it only made the landing worse. Sunseri going to capitalize. Pirata, but nobody there.
Very well scouted on the part of both Chandler Hopkins and Joey Sunseri. Each knew what the other was going for, able to evade it, and now they are both down.
Well, Veda, we've seen both these athletes push each other to their limit. What can either of these athletes have left?
Well, hopefully they have enough left to at least get to their feet. I would hate to see a match like this end. Oh, Hopkins is pulling himself up by the ropes. It looks like Sunseri is struggling to his feet as well. Count has stopped.
Yeah, match continues, and Sunseri on the offensive. And Sunseri. Oh, that's not wise, sir. You do not mess with a man's cowboy hat.
He said, you want to see something cool.
He hasn't shown me anything yet. Oh. Looking to rub it into Hopkins.
Oh!
Sunseri got caught.
The hat has fallen off.
Sunseri's lucky his face didn't fall off with it. Oh, nicely done. Using the ropes as an offensive weapon is Hopkins here. Sunseri's prone.
Frog splash connects. But wait, Hopkins isn't done.
Not going to pin him. Wait a minute. There's the six-shooter. Hopkins with a six-shooter, and he beats him. Well, Vader, there's a lot of things you can do in this business, but you do not steal a Texans cowboy hat and get away with it.
Incredible matchup, though. A lot more back and forth than I expected it to be, Joe, I have to say. And the status of the hat, it is safely atop Chandler Hopkins' head. I know that's the update we were all waiting for.
Had a little bit of a tip of the hat to Joey Sunseri, who you don't have to like, you don't have to want to be around.
Well, you don't like him. You did say that, like, many, many times.
But you do have to appreciate the effort. And I do think Sunseri has a very, very bright future to hang with somebody who's on the radar of every top promotion. Sunseri brought it here, but Chandler Hopkins, his first time in this area, gets a big-time W.
And Joey Sunseri is still arguing with the fans on his way out.
Doesn't surprise me at all, but Hopkins has made a lot of new fans here this particular evening.